So, I haven't uploaded a video in a while, and decided to do one today. A lot of people have been requesting measurements and instructions and angles and whatnot on this particular trike. So that's what this video is going to be about. Basically, I'll start from the front, go to the back. I'm going to go through some of the people or companies that I bought the parts from. There is one particular company that I'm not going to mention, just because of the fact that they don't seem to want to help out the people that make their business possible. And so yeah, I am not going to mention them anymore as far as if anybody asks where I purchased the parts from. Otherwise, you can Google it, or most of this stuff, I would say 99% of the stuff that's on this trike you can purchase on eBay. So we'll start off with the material that I used to make this particular trike, and this material is what is called a steel or black pipe, mainly used for gas lines. Back in the day, they used to even use them as water lines, but since they've gone with plastic. But these particular pieces come in 20-foot lengths, and you can buy them, I think it was like $24 for each length. Now, you can use this particular, which is a mild steel. You can use a different type of pipe, like a DOM, which is mainly used for racing cages and building racing cars. But it's all up to you. If you want to use that particular material, this particular pipe worked great for me. It worked great on my other one, so that's what I used. And I did buy this at Lowe's. You can buy it wherever you want. You can buy it Lowe's, Home Depot, your local plumbing supply, your whoever. I mean, it's all totally up to you. This actual width of this pipe is 1 inch in diameter, and that's all of it except for, I believe, the handlebars, which were 3/4 inch. So yeah, that's what I used to build the frame and the handlebars. And the handlebars, again, I use the same type of pipe. It's just a smaller diameter. So the front wheel comes from Mongoose Dolomite fat tire bicycle. I bought that particular bicycle on Walmart's website, and they shipped it over to the store, my local store. I think I paid, if I'm not mistaken, like $180 for the whole complete bike. And with all the parts I used to build the two trikes, was worth it to me, because the wheels sometimes run about $100 each, sometimes, depending on who you buy them from. I mean, like I say, they have some that are made for racing bikes and stuff like that. But this particular bike was I'd say a cheapo bike. The wheels are made out of steel, so I've heard that they can bend more easily if you don't use the chromoly wheels. But I'm not doing crazy stuff with this thing, so I mean, the steel one works fine for me. This particular one used to be the rear wheel of that bike, and I took off the gears and made it, used it for the front. This one has like the rotor on there, But I didn't hook on or attach the front brake because on my other trike, I noticed that it doesn't really stop, you know, as good as the hydraulic brake. So, you know, I probably could have gone spend a little bit more money, but I wanted to go do this one a little bit cheaper than I did my other one. And I just left it out. So, I mean, and it works just fine. The forks, were I made, because I had already used the other set for my other trike. And so this part right here, I got off of another donor bike that I got at the junkyard, just this part, and then I cut off that, you know, the forks on either side from that one because it was on a smaller one. And yes, it is off center about 1/4 of an inch. Not bad for something that's homemade, you know. The first time I've ever made anything like this, you know, I think it's not bad. And if, you know, if you want to go be a real stickler about it, I can go ahead and put a washer on one side or spacer on the other and center it, but it works. Like I say, the handlebars I made out of 3/4 inch pipe. The clamp was bought on eBay, and the grips, this one and the throttle, were all bought on eBay. I believe even the cable I bought on eBay, and I bought one of the longer ones because I bought one of the longest ones that I could buy for my other trike, and it was too short. So I found this one. I can't remember the actual the length of it, but you know, you might just take a measurement on your own if you're building something like this. Just get a string, run it from here all the way to the back, you know, tie it up like it would be a throttle, you know, the throttle cable, and then that would give you your measurement. That's kind of how I figured it out. The angle of the forks or the neck is, let's see if I can put this on there. Angle is, dang it. Stay there. You might, as you can see right there on the angle gauge, it's a little off. Hold on. Jesus. Alright, so this is flush up against that area, and you're looking at about 25 degrees, almost 26. Yeah, about 25 degrees on the angle of that, of the forks. Now, all of the other angles, like this one here, this one right here as well. Sorry while I adjust this. This one right here, the one down at the bottom, this one here, and that one right there. Those are all 30-degree angles. And you use this thing on a hydraulic tube bender that I got from Harbor Freight to bend all the pipes. Now, I did modify the bender a little bit. Actually, not even the bender, but the dies is what I modified to make the bends a little bit smoother. I did get the idea on how to modify the bender or dies from another user on YouTube, and I will put a link below the video to his video to kind of give you an idea of how the die can be modified to make the bends more smooth so they won't kink. Okay, and so these were all bent on that one. These are a hydraulic This is a custom foot pedal or foot brake that I made to go on this reservoir or master cylinder, which in turn compresses that caliper and stops the trike. Again, I'm not going to mention where I got that from, but if you can find it online or do a search, you'll be able to find it. The pegs that I got, again, were from eBay. All I did on these was, if you look at my other video, it'll kind of explain all this a little bit more in depth, but I just cut a 45-degree angle right there in this pipe. I got a piece of round bar, cut a 45 on it as well, drilled a hole through that piece, and put a piece of rod where this slides through or over, and then welded it on the inside to hold the rod, and then welded it all the way around onto the pipe to make the foot pegs. And then, of course, I made them a little bit longer, so when I sat down on the seat, my legs fit perfectly. They were, you know, not too bunched up, so that's how I did that, and then cut it and then welded it. On the seat was bought from eBay. That was a fishing boat seat, and I had ordered it in a charcoal gray, but it didn't quite go with the color, so I used a leather dye and just went ahead and dyed the seat. This back pad was custom made. I just cut a piece of wood, plywood, and then covered it with some foam and some vinyl, black vinyl, and then screwed it on through the back with a couple of wood screws. The axle I bought on eBay, and you can buy that from a company called Northern Tool. They actually sell their stuff on eBay as well, so if you do a search for a 36-inch axle, or what it is a Kart axle, K-A-R-T, Kart axle, and you can get it with, when you do buy it, get it with these, they call it a keyway, and that's what this groove is that goes inside the axle. And basically what that does is you put your rotor on, and then you put a little piece of metal, a little piece of square steel into there, and then it kind of goes into another groove that's into the rotor, and that kind of stops it from spinning around. Same thing on this one right here. There's a keyway right there. There's a keyway right here on this side of the axle, and then you put a key into there. The hub, you run it through the hub, and then to stop it from spinning, there is a bolt right here, an Allen head bolt, and you just tighten that, and that stops it from spinning and moving from side to side. All this stuff, like I say, the hub and the tooth sprocket, you can get those all on eBay. I believe, you know, I can't remember how many teeth were on that sprocket, but I used a couple of them because I had gotten a bigger one, and it was too close to the ground, so I ended up getting a really small one. The axle hangers and bearings come as a kit, again, off of eBay, and I think I paid, if I'm not mistaken, like $25 for the whole set. And basically you put on the bearings and onto the hangers, and you kind of set them on the frame after you build it, and weld it all together to kind of get an idea and make sure it's straight, you know, on the frame, and before you weld it in, and of course just tack weld it in, and then make sure everything lines up, and then you can go ahead and weld it all the way around. The wheels I bought from that company again. Sorry. Maybe I should be a little bit more honest with why I don't want to mention their name. And basically, I wrote them an email and tried to contact them to see if they would sponsor me to build my next project, was going to be a drag bike, a drag mini bike, and they were not too friendly with their response, and so I decided that I would not push their product anymore. So that's why I don't mention them. So, but the wheels are a 6 by 8 or 8 by 6, 8 inches wide, 6 inches in diameter. And the hubs I got on eBay. You can't see them, but the hubs under there I got from eBay, and they were anodized purple as well. And the engine I bought from Harbor Freight, and you can, it's like $100 if you have a coupon. You might even get it cheaper than that. Sometimes I see them for like $89, but plus tax takes it up to close to $100. But these are really good engines. They're cheap, easy to work on. The only thing I did, it's pretty much stock. The only thing I did was I opened it up. I removed the low oil sensor and the governor. Now you can do a search, and there's a couple of videos out there that show how to do that. So I'm not going to go into depth of how to remove the governor on there. Clutch I bought on eBay as well, and the only thing I modified on the outside was the air cleaner box, because when I put the throttle kit on, it was hitting up against the box. It didn't have enough travel, so I just cut the plastic off and left the filter on, and it works good. The what else am I missing here? I think that's it. I mean, all of the bolts that I used are all stainless steel bolts, but I just bought all those from my local hardware store, and different sizes and lengths. So I don't know exact lengths and sizes anymore. So you'd have to figure all that out on your own. I'm going to go through measurements. So get ready. The handlebars, like I said, were 3/4 of an inch in diameter, and they are 2 feet long. So 24 inches long. The handlebars are that long. The let's see, the front forks, 17 3/4. So from this point right here, where it's welded all the way down, is 17 3/4. What I did was I left these a little long before I put them on, or welded on this tab right here on the bottom, and welded it on, make sure they all lined up, and then welded it on. The width was on the inside. What I did was I measured the inside of the wheel, and it's pretty close. It's like 6 7/8, almost 7 inches in between the two. And how I figured that out was I just measured the inside of from there to there, and the tabs were just a couple of pieces of 1/8 inch sheet metal that I cut out and copied another one that I had on a bike, and then just welded it on, made sure they were that the wheel wasn't crooked. And what I did was I just kind of put a piece of block of wood underneath right here, and then welded everything in place. So that's how I did that. The the foot pegs. Let me see if I can get this here. It's 23 and a half. So from right here all the way down to the right there is 23 and a half. Like I said, I'd made them a little bit longer, and then cut them to size after I sat on the frame before I welded it in place. Make sure when you do weld them that you have enough room for the tire to rotate or turn. And the space in between is 25 inches. So in between here and the other peg on the other side is 25 inches. In between the frame right here is 7 1/8. So 7 1/8 from here to here. And that's what you need to do to cut these sections right here, which strengthen the frame. You could add as many as you want, as many as you feel necessary, just, you know, depending on how heavy you are. You can even add a couple right here, you know, down for this bend right here. Like I say, depending on how much strength you want this frame, how strong you want this frame to be. The main body is, if I remember correctly, like 66 inches. So starting from the top where it attaches to the head tube, down to the middle of the first bend is 33 inches. So from the top of the head tube down to this first bend right here is 33 inches. All right. So the middle, let's see. So starting from this point right here, down all the way down to the middle of the frame to the first bend, that is 33 inches. So to the back of the frame is 30, so 31. So 64 inches. Wait, no. Yeah, 64 inches is the total width or length of the frame with all the bends. When you do make the main body of that frame, make sure that it's longer right here. Mine was sticking out about right there. And the reason I did that was so when I put it all mocked up, the axle and the engine and the seat, I had enough room to put the plate on and weld it all together. And then I just cut off the back pieces and I put a little plug that's on the end there. You can weld on a plug, whatever you want. Okay, and then these pieces right here, there's a space in between them of 4 3/4. So in between right here, 4 3/4 from the main body of the frame to the outside or to the inside right here. The total width of this frame is 21 inches. So the total width from end to end on the outside is 21 inches. Let's see. And this one is 31.5. So from the underside of the frame to where it connects this tube right here, all the way to the back, 31 inches total. Again, what I did was I made them a little bit longer, kind of set them down on the body, and then made sure there was going to have enough room to put the wheels on and everything, and then welded them on. But you know, with these measurements, you'll be able to find that out since total width is 21 inches. This piece right here, that's just a brace I put, so when you sit on it, you don't scratch, you know, or get caught up in the wheel right here. You can make it as big or as little as you want, you know, just as long as it protects you from these areas right here. And the motor mount, which goes under here, is a piece of 1/8 inch steel, sheet steel again, and that one was, I believe, 8 by, see if I can measure this. Yep, it's 8 by 8. So 8 by 8, and what I did on this one was I set the motor down, kind of traced the holes, made sure it was straight, and then I elongated the holes so I could move the engine back a little bit to tighten the chain. You can do it several different ways. The way I did it works for me. Let's see what other measurements we got here. The total length from the middle from that bolt right there on the wheel to the back of the frame is 5 feet or 60 inches. So that'll kind of give you an idea of how long this is. Of course, you put the front tire on, it's going to stick out a little bit more, but the actual frame is 5 feet. The underneath the seat, which you can't see, is a 4 tabs, metal tabs that I mounted, welded onto the frame, and I just welded them on, drilled the holes, and then put a couple of bolts that come with the seat, and that holds the seat on. What else? Oh, the throttle kit that I put on this particular engine came from eBay. There's a company on there online or on eBay that sells a specific throttle kit for this. I did have to make a small little tab for this one, and that was to put the throttle return spring. And I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but right here is a little piece of metal, and it bolts right underneath the valve cover bolt. And I drilled a small hole and put the spring there, and kind of bent the spring so it kind of catches it, and that returns the throttle back to its original position. Again, you just do a search for the Harbor Freight Predator throttle kit, and they'll send you a little baggie with all these parts on it, and it comes, I believe it comes with this little arm right here that bolts onto the engine, this part right here, that with the spring, and I think there's another arm or something like that comes with it. I can't remember, but like I say, if you do a search for that, that'll come with it. The sleeves you can buy on eBay as well. I got them from a local waterworks. They work for the city basically, and they fix broken lines, sewer pipes, whatever. But they had a bunch of pieces of this laying around in the backyard, and I went and I asked them if I could have some, and they let me take some really big pieces, long pieces, and I just used a circular saw to cut it, and then kind of sanded the edges, and then put a little bit of WD-40 on the wheel or the tire while it had no air, and then put it on with a mallet, and then just filled up the tires with air, and that held them in place. So I think that's it. It's the bearings that go inside this, I believe I used off of the old bike, but you can get those at any bicycle supply place. Also, I don't know if I'm forgetting anything. I think that's it. So yeah, oh, I know what measurement you guys need. Where I mounted the The hanger is from the middle of the first bend right here to the back is 7 inches. So from right here, from right there to right here is 7 inches on both sides. So that makes sure it's straight. And I think that's the final measurement you guys need. So good luck on your build. Like I say, it's kind of like a trial and error type situation if you've never built one of these. You know, just make sure and watch my other videos, the actual build video, and it'll kind of give you some pointers and ideas of how to make this thing. If you make a video on how you made your trike, and you used my information, just give a shout out at least, and I'll appreciate it a lot. And like I say, I'll post a couple of links down at the bottom of this video to the build video for this one and to how to modify the Harbor Freight bender. So please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.